Hello, everybody. I'm Ricky Smith, and this is Faith on Friday Presents. At Faith on Friday Presents, we're all about highlighting inspiring people, engaging topics, and small businesses. And while you're here, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram and see what we got going on. All right, everybody. So we've heard it said, some of us have already gone and done it, but let's talk about it. What are we saying? There are booby conversations that we need to have. Ladies, you know what I mean. We have the mammograms, we've got the breast exams, but then in some cases, we have other things that we have to do, whether it is a mastectomy, whether it is a double mastectomy, and then there's reconstruction. What is it all about? Today, you all, I'm going to introduce you to the funniest person I have met in a while who's going to tell us everything, yeah, about her boobs. Y'all, please say hello to Miss Deb Krier. Hi, Deb. How are you?
Oh my gosh, we are going to have so much fun, Ricky. Thank you so much for having me on as your guest.
It is my pleasure. I'm telling you, you are literally the funniest little person I have met. And this topic can be really serious,
It
but
can
you
be.
make it not so. So, Deb,
Mhm.
first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you and what is it that you do?
So I am in Atlanta, but I am from Colorado. It's always fun to do that. I have my own marketing and PR firm. And I
Okay.
also have a podcast, but it's been recently, actually, 2015 is when I started this fun little journey that I'm on, where I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so it has been a wild ride, almost died a
Mhm.
couple times. My technical diagnosis is stage 4, triple positive metastatic breast cancer. And then I had a little thyroid cancer thrown in last year, because we just got
So
bored, right?
just the little things.
Yeah, but my whole philosophy has
Mhm.
been, how can we have fun with this?
Wow.
Because it's very serious. But
Hmm.
to me, humor obviously is good for us both physically and
Hmm.
emotionally.
That's true.
But it helps kind of make those hard discussions a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And so that's part of why I love doing this, is to be able to kind of, make those because it is scary. It's very scary.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so, how can we kind of lighten this up a little bit?
Yeah. And that is so great because like you said, the topic itself is
Mhm.
so serious. And then you're
Right.
in the office, you go and you go get the boobies checked, you do all your things, and
Yeah,
then you get the
squashed.
diagnosis. Yeah, we all know what that looks like.
Mhm.
And and how much fun is that? Said no one
Yeah.
ever.
Right.
But, you know, there you are, you're doing your thing, you're minding
Mhm.
your business, all is well, the girls are fine. You
Mhm.
go to the doctor, you get this diagnosis, and it's the C word,
Oh,
the
I know.
cancer.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about what led you up to going, first of all, to
Mhm.
find out, did you find a lump? What happened?
So I just did my annual exam. And like I said, this was back in 2015. Went in and had a mammogram and got the call before I got home that I needed to go back. And now I worked for an oncologist and I worked for the
Mhm.
American Cancer Society. So I know just enough to be dangerous, which means I
Right.
knew it was not, oops, the machine got unplugged.
Mhm.
It was, hey, there's something there. And
Mhm.
so went back and discovered that I didn't have a lump. I didn't have a bump. I didn't have anything that, you would normally associate with this. I had what they
Right.
call microcalcifications, which are these itty bitty
Okay.
little specks, smaller than grains of salt. The computer saw it when it read it.
Wow.
We cannot see them with the human eye. Did a
Mhm.
little research on Dr. Google and discovered that for many women, most women actually of a certain
Mhm.
age, we get these
Mm.
microcalcifications. They happen as the hormones change in our bodies. It's just
Sure.
kind of one of those things. And in a very rare and special circumstances, they do turn cancerous. And then what they do is
Mhm.
those little speckly specks start gathering together.
Mhm.
And so, but yeah, my initial diagnosis was really nothing to worry about, stage
Right.
0. And
Mhm.
so I went for several months going, "Oy," you know,
Yeah, yeah, right.
yeah, and even though it was scary, I
Mhm.
was not all that worried, and
That's good
until
to
we got a
hear.
little further along in the process.
And that's the thing, because a lot of women watching this, we go and get our
Mhm.
annuals done. We, go, I call it the booby squeeze. We go
Mhm.
get it done. You get felt all up by your
Mhm.
doctor, the whole thing.
I
And
know,
you
and it's
pretty
like,
much
"Oy."
walk away like, and right. But you walk away
Right.
going, whatever.
Mhm.
And
Right.
a lot of us don't get a call back because it's just fine. And you
Right.
go another
Mhm.
whatever years.
Mhm.
So when did it get serious for you? What happened?
So I actually had a couple biopsies. Those were not fun. Big needles, but they came back
Mm,
negative.
yeah.
And so we were still thinking, hey, this is good. Had
Mm-hmm.
an MRI. Now we all kind of, might know what an MRI is, but when you
Mm-hmm.
have a breast one, you're laying on your stomach and
Okay.
the girls are hanging down, right? So that you can get a nice, good picture of them.
Wait, I have a whole nother visual right now because my
That's
MRI,
exactly
I
the
know
visual.
you
You're on
lay
your
down
stomach,
flat,
and yeah,
and oh, okay.
through, and they have this special equipment. And oh yeah, I mean, this is you you very quickly in this process lose all dignity.
Oh, I'm sure.
You're no longer modest, any of those things. And so got a call that they needed to redo that
Oh,
because
wow.
I had moved, and
Hmm.
so that the images were blurry. In
Okay.
fact, she told me, she said, honey, you had 6 nipples. And I said, well, maybe that's the problem. Because, right, and
That would
so
be a
went back.
problem.
Yeah, had another one. Now I was smart enough this time to say, I am not you, because you have to lay perfectly still
Sure.
for like 9 hours. It's probably like 10 minutes, but
But
and
it
and
feels
so
like
i
9 hours.
i had i had to be partially sedated. I mean, there
Hmm.
was no
Oh,
way
wow.
I was going to do
Hmm.
that. And
Okay.
so then it came back that there were, that my lymph nodes were
Hmm.
glowing, which is what, kind of one of the things they're looking for. But I had this large patch on
Hmm.
the bad side
Hmm.
of poison ivy, and
Oh, goodness.
had a really bad infection there. And so that
Hmm.
was the thought, was that was why those lymph nodes, because a
Sure.
lymph node is, it is how your body fights off infections. And so
Hmm.
when something is in your body, it puts out this stuff that
Yeah.
you need to heal.
Go,
So
go,
it
fight,
will,
fight. Yeah.
yeah, it'll glow when you take
Hmm.
MRI images.
Hmm.
And so again, nobody was all that concerned. Then we decided, let's go ahead and actually do the surgery where they took out lymph nodes.
Okay.
And the 8 of 12 lymph nodes that they removed were positive. So that meant that the
Goodness.
cancer had spread.
Hmm.
So I went right from, oops, this is easy, to, oh crap.
Yeah.
And so then it obviously got very serious, and the decision
Sure.
was made to do some really massive doses of
Hmm.
chemotherapy, because these little things were floating throughout my body.
Right.
And that was really fun, because it literally almost killed me. Ended up in the
Mm.
hospital, in ICU, all sorts of nasty stuff for 7 weeks.
From the thing
And
that's supposed to help you.
I know,
It's
and they said,
amazing.
well, we obviously can't do that again. And it's like, you think?
Brilliant.
Um, but and then then after that I had the double mastectomy. And I
Mhm,
had decided to do the double because I
mhm.
didn't want to worry about the other side, and I was not going to be
Sure.
lopsided. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, got a complication from that almost nobody gets. My surgeon had never seen it. See, I'm special child,
You're
right?
so special, Deb.
I
Wow.
know, I tell people, really, I just want to be normal, just for a little bit of time.
Why
But
bother?
yeah, I know that's no fun, right? And
Mhm,
so, since then, what we've been doing is other surgeries. I mean, there have been all
mhm.
sorts of other things, and I actually still am in treatment.
Are
I have a
you?
port in
Okay.
my shoulder, and
Mhm.
I go in every 21 days, and they, this thing in my shoulder,
Yeah.
and I get this nasty stuff. But
Wow.
I just, like I said, this was back in 2015,
And
and
it's crazy.
yeah.
Deb, I'm gonna stop you here really quick because there's so much in this. Now,
Oh yeah.
when you made the decision, and I'm sure there were quite a few
Mhm,
conversations between you, your doctor, your loved ones,
mhm, mhm,
whomever. When you guys finally made the decision, we're gonna take them both off. We're
mhm.
gonna do a
Yeah.
double mastectomy.
Mhm.
What was your mindset at that time? Were you this, I can't say chipper, were
Oh
you
yeah, I
this, I
was.
mean,
I was
how
kind of like,
what was your
okay, make
mindset?
these things go away.
Mhm.
I was never enthralled with my bosoms. Let's just put it that.
Okay.
I was like, oh, they were just these things,
Right.
but at that point I would have been in my mid 50s. And I was like, ugh, you know, why?
Yeah.
And I really, there was, now I did consider reconstruction. I went
Hmm.
to a plastic surgeon here in Atlanta. I tell you
Hmm.
what, that was the most mortifying exam I had ever had. He was
Really?
very nice. He
Why?
was very professional. Well, one of the things we were considering, this was just absolutely hilarious, was
Mhm.
rather than like the fake, you know, the sacks of whatever.
Sure.
Yes, they would use my own fat. So in essence, I would be getting liposuction, which you know,
Okay.
I thought this was pretty funny. I'm like, oh, cool, I'm
Sure.
getting lipo. But they, you know, they had to measure how much fat I had. And so they used these calipers. I mean, it was just, it was like,
Hmm.
oh my God. And
Wow.
I thought, you know, and but any person I had talked to who had ever
Hmm.
had implants, replacements, things like that,
Hmm.
had issues. And I
Yeah.
thought, you know, I'm old. I don't really need these things anymore. You know, and my
They're
husband, God bless
decoration
him.
at this point,
I
right?
know. Yeah, they were in the way, right? My husband, God bless him, said, you do what you want to do. You know,
Mm.
this is, you
That's
know,
nice.
is yeah. And
Yeah.
now if I had been much younger and maybe still dating or things like
Mm.
that, it would have been a different decision. But I was like, yeah,
Sure.
yeah, who wants those
I
things?
know because they can get in the way of your golf swing. Depending on the size, it's
I
hard to
know.
run.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
so many things.
Mhm,
But like you said, you know, you hear as a lot of us as women, there are a few things that make
mhm,
us girls.
mhm, right.
A set
And
of them is
our
boobs.
girls are part of that, right? Mhm,
Yeah. And
mhm,
so what a blessing though for you. You have someone who's like, hey, don't even worry
mhm,
about it. You're
yeah,
still all woman to me.
mhm,
You know, because that's a huge thing,
mhm.
and
It
some
is.
people will
Mhm,
feel down and
mhm,
depressed and ugly
right.
and all these things.
Mhm.
Did you have any of that, or were you just
No.
like, "Hooray, let's go now"?
You know, I was like, let's get on to the next step.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's, I mean, I have some very massive scars. I mean, when they, you know,
Mhm,
especially when
mhm.
they're not doing any type of reconstruction, they don't make it
Right,
look
right.
pretty.
No?
You know, and so, you know, there's
Mhm,
just, and yeah, I mean, the scars are pretty wicked and pretty nasty. And they
mhm.
literally take you all the way down to your chest bone. I mean, there is
Wow,
nothing
did
that
not
is
know
there.
that. Mhm.
So, you know, you and I, you know, my little tummy protrudes more, right? And so you kind of have this funny shape. Um, but you
Deb,
know,
you're
it
great.
was, yeah, it really wasn't a question of, you know, was I going to do this or not? I mean, you know,
Mhm.
like I said, if I'd
Yeah,
been much younger, it would have been very different.
different
But I was like,
conversation.
nah, yeah,
Yeah.
we're just not going to deal with this.
Okay, so there you are. You've been diagnosed, you've
Hmm.
had your conversation, you've
Hmm.
had them removed,
Hmm.
and you're like, okay, let's good. And you've had the reconstruction
Hmm.
appointment, which was you
Hmm.
said was mortifying, and
Hmm.
you opted not to do that. This is
Right.
where it gets good. Deb, what did you end up doing?
So you can get prosthetic boobs. And you know, and hello, we started
At
doing this when we
Walmart
were,
or Target? Where are we at with this?
no,
Where do
no,
you
you
get
do
this
have to
stuff?
order them. But remember, like when we were young girls and
Mm-hmm.
conceivably not developing as fast as some of our friends, and we use like
Mm-hmm.
tube socks and, you know, things like this.
And
So
toilet
girls have been
paper.
stuffing their bras since we were like 12 years old, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is in essence the same concept.
Mhm.
So I started investigating this because it's really not so much that, you know, it bothers me to be
Mhm.
this flat. I mean, it's actually, like I said, it's kind of nice not to have to worry about any of that anymore. But women's clothes are tailored to
Mhm.
fit better when you have a chest.
Mhm.
And I noticed that other people, it was kind of like it drew their attention.
Really?
You know, and you know,
Wow.
not that they were exactly looking, but it was more like, oh,
Mhm.
she really doesn't have anything there. You know, and the funny thing is, I mean,
Ah.
there are some women and some who are
Mhm.
very dear friends of mine who are almost that flat anyway, naturally, right?
Right,
So,
exactly.
you know, and so it was very strange. But so I discovered that my insurance, and thank God I have really good insurance, my insurance
Mhm.
would pay for these prosthetic boobs. And so I went and had that
Amazing.
appointment. And one of the things they said was, you should kind of stick with, because everybody went, oh, did you go bigger?
Right, exactly.
And they said,
What
no,
is
your
wrong with us?
body, right, I know, you know, and your body is built
Mhm.
for a specific size, right? And they said,
Sure.
so if you don't, so you should still kind of stay with the same size that you were before
Mhm.
the surgery. And so, I went and had the fitting. I mean, it was
Mhm.
this very strange thing. I mean,
Oh, I
it's kind
bet.
of like a bra fitting,
That's what I
but
was thinking, a bra
yeah,
fitting,
I mean,
but
it was, yeah, I mean, yeah,
not.
they're using the tape measure and same, I mean,
Sure.
it really was kind of that same concept. And then I go back.
Mhm.
And so now, okay, we have the visual aid portion of
Yes, I
this.
was gonna say,
Yes,
show us
yes.
what you got,
So
Deb.
these are the insurance provided bosoms. Um, and I of course have two, and
Well, yeah,
they are named. So this one is Thelma, and then of course I have Louise.
Deb Louise, why
And
not?
now they are that, so the same cup size about as what I
Sure.
used to wear.
Uh-huh.
And they're about the same weight as what, which is kind of
Really?
very bizarre.
Okay.
But they're plastic
Mhm.
and uncomfortable. They're
I would
hot.
think plastic and hot and
They're
sweaty.
hot. Yeah, and I'm like, ew. And so then I found this wonderful nonprofit
Mhm.
that is called Knitted Knockers. And they are
Knitted
exactly what you
knockers.
think they would be. So here is one of my
Oh
knitted
my
knockers,
gosh.
which I think is very funny because it's actually purple. Um, and but
Oh
and they
my
have
goodness.
patterns on their website,
Mhm.
so you
Sure.
can make them for your friends, all of these various things.
Give them as
Um,
gifts.
but yeah, yeah. And the nice thing is they're really light. I mean, they're just these
Mhm.
little pillows, right? And
Wow.
so, of course, I had to name these. So
Oh,
because these are more informal, they're Lucy
mm.
and Ethel. And it's right, and it's like, yeah, like I said, you have to have fun with this. Now I
Yeah.
discovered that when you have any type of prosthetic like this, you do
Mhm.
have a special bra that has a pocket in it,
I see, and I was
because
gonna ask, is it
right,
just your
because
regular bra? But no,
you
it is
could,
not. Okay.
but they could wander off. All of a sudden you've got a boob, like up here or on your, down on your chest. And so it's, the
Oh
nice thing,
gosh.
the bras have these nice little pockets, and it's just called a
Mhm.
mastectomy bra.
Mhm.
And those you can get on Amazon. But and then you
Okay.
just slide the girls in there, and away you go.
Put on a dress and you're out
Yeah,
the door.
yeah.
Deb,
Now,
that is
it's, yeah,
crazy.
I mean, it's just this entertaining process, that you
Well,
have these. So when
but it's
I need girls,
entertaining
I've got
because
them.
you but right, but it's
Yeah.
entertaining
Oh
because you make it so.
yeah.
You don't
Right.
make the subject taboo.
No,
You
I've
have
had
done
people ask
something.
me, can we
Yeah,
see them?
here you
Mhm.
go.
Yeah. I'm like, mm.
I but again, you've made the topic not taboo.
Mhm.
You've made it something that we can talk about and
Mhm.
even laugh about because
Right.
like you said, that laughter is like
Mhm.
medicine for your
Mhm.
soul. It
Oh, it
will keep
is.
you
Mhm.
going, and it also makes people less uncomfortable. Do you
Mhm.
find that to be
Right.
true?
It does. It's always really funny in October when I get the emails, have you, or postings on Facebook, have you checked
Yeah.
your girls? And
Mhm.
usually I'll post a picture of one of them and say, now what am I doing? I mean, I've checked it,
And it's
looks
still
fine to
there.
me. Yeah, a little frayed on an end, but
This is what I'm talking and if more women had these kinds of
Mhm.
conversations with each other and just like you're
Right.
doing right now on
Mhm.
this podcast and things, it would probably make it less scary,
Mhm.
less taboo, if you will,
Right. Mhm.
and less daunting of a subject
Mhm.
to have to deal with. Because
Mhm.
most of us, if not all of us, have known someone or who have
Oh
gone through
yeah.
it
Mhm.
themselves,
Mhm. Right.
and probably I can't think of anybody besides you, Deb, that has gone through it like this. So, Deb, let me ask you, if
Mhm.
somebody wanted to reach out to you to continue this conversation or just find out the funny stuff you got going on, where can they find you, my friend?
Well, we actually started an initiative to help those who are on a cancer journey, either themselves or supporting someone else. And it's called Trying Not to Die.LIVE, LIVE.
Wow.
And that is the website also. So trying not to die.live. And you'll find all sorts of information there. There's actually a link to Knitted Knockers and other resources. But there's ways there that you can reach out and contact me also.
Awesome. And y'all have got to check out her podcast. For as she is right now, it's funnier on her podcast. She's hilarious. And don't forget, if you all have not gotten all of her information, don't worry. Everything's going to be in the description below. And while you're here, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. Deb, my friend, before I let you go, we got to play a game.
Okay.
All right, so this game is really simple. It's called This or That. I'm going to give you the choice of a few things, and you just tell me which one you like the best.
Okay.
Are you
Okay.
ready to play, my friend?
I am.
All right, let's do this. All right, large crowds or small groups?
Small groups.
Slow dance or shake that thing?
Shake that thing.
You may as well. Why not? Let me ask you this, Prince or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
You were very sure about that. I
I'm
like
a little
that.
older.
Me too, but I'm a Prince fan. I don't know. It is what it is. Oh well. Hotels or tents?
Hotels. Gotta have a shower.
See, I'm okay with glamping, but
Mhm.
yeah, that whole sleep. Yeah. Eat to live or live to eat?
Live to eat.
Right? There's so much good food to be had out there. Oh my gosh. Peanut butter, smooth or creamy? I'm sorry, smooth or crunchy?
Crunchy.
Okay. Yellow light, speed up or slow down?
Speed up. I live in Atlanta.
You better get out of the way, right? And finally, Deb, finish this sentence. If I had it to do it all over again, I would.
Not change a thing.